There are few characters in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen that can claim to be at the pinnacle of strength. Obviously, we have people like Gojo, Sukuna, Kenjaku, and Yuta, but aside from them, there is one character that rightfully stands beside them in terms of strength. But if you took a look at their list of accomplishments, you'd probably think I was out of my mind for even suggesting that he'd be on the same level as those previously listed. But such is the unfortunate reality of one Hajime Kashimo. I think everyone that's a fan of this series has a character they like, whether it's because of their cool or interesting power set, overall look, or just their personality, that sadly, because of the way that Geje writes Jujutsu Kaisen, doesn't get the necessary shine and respect that you would have wanted to see from said character. And for me, that's Kashimo. And I think this case is a little bit more extreme than any others, considering, like I mentioned before, that Kashimo is supposed to be in the upper echelon of the verse. At the very least, top 5 when it comes to Jujutsu. He was supposed to be the Gojo of the previous era. He was supposed to be that guy. But his story ends in utter failure. And it's to a point where I'm wondering why Geje even decided to add him to the plot at all. But I feel in order to truly know where it all went wrong, so very wrong, we must start at the beginning. Before we do that though, make sure you guys leave a like. If you're enjoying the Jujutsu Kaisen on the channel, which I think you all are, make sure you drop a like. Let me know. Helps the videos out, helps the channel out, helps me want to make more content like this. So yeah, do that. But back to what I was saying. From the moment we all were first introduced to Hajime, Geje let us know that there was something different about him compared to the other Culling game fighters. And I mean, it's kinda hard not to get that impression when our literal first look at the character is through the hole he just put in some dude's chest. Pretty sick. But he then goes on to display a drive to battle the King of Curses himself and expert knowledge on how the game works by adding a rule to said game after claiming a hefty 200 points. And the details of the added rule in combination with his wanting to duke it out with Sukuna also lets us know that one of the core components of Kashimo is his hunger for battle. After that though, we actually don't see Kashimo again for about 26 chapters. He reappears in chapter 184 with Panda, but in real time, breaks between chapters not included if any were taken, because I just don't know if any were taken, that's about 6 months, which is quite a long wait. But to be fair, his first introduction took place in the earlier parts of the Culling games, so there was still some setup and plot that needed to progress before the focus could go back to someone like Kashimo. And the wait, I would say, was definitely well worth it because of the 2 back-to-back fights, the latter spanning 5 chapters and also being genuinely incredible. That is in no way to discredit the first one though, because the battle with Panda, if you can even really call it that, it's probably more appropriate to call it the Massacre of Panda, was excellent as well. The difference in experience, technique, and skill was a sight to behold. Panda could not do a singular thing. He got his guts bust, his arm snapped clean off, he got hit with a mean 3-piece, and then he got exploded. This was one of the best examples of the difference between grades in my opinion. Now, on the opposite end, the fight with Akari was a fantastic example of special grades fighting. But this fight serves another purpose beyond just being a cool fight. It also provides a deeper look into the mindset of Kashimo, because before their battle got serious, he figured out how Akari's domain and jackpot system worked, realizing that if he could just focus on surviving the 4 minutes and 11 seconds, he'd basically be guaranteed the win. However, after identifying this fact, he declares that that mindset is simply for losers, and that he's going to win regardless. Immortal or not, he thought the W was coming his way. This trait really makes him seem like a distant relative of Goku or Vegeta or basically any other Saiyan, because he's blatantly throwing away the higher rate of success for a challenge that will put his strength to the test. And to be fair, I mean, he almost did it. Even with Hikari's technique being as broken as it is, Kashimo almost ended the fight 3 separate times. In the end, he still loses because of plot, but this fight showed that even though Kashimo has those toxic Saiyan traits, he also has the knowledge, skill, and ability to overcome the disadvantages he might put on himself. Unless he's fighting someone who just seems to have an endless supply of power and tricks. And that, my friends, in a way brings this video full circle, because that is the unfortunate reality of Hajime Kashimo. In spite of everything he had going for him, his pride and actual lack of power held him back immensely. After seeing Gojo get annihilated by Sukuna, Kashimo didn't change his plans. He didn't team up with Yuta and the others for a better fighting chance. He didn't consider any alternatives, and there was no hesitation whatsoever. Before Gojo's top half hit the floor, Kashimo was already flying over to the battlefield. He was already on the way before the top half hit. I know y'all have seen the TikTok. But he does this because based off of prior information, we know that would be what losers do. He had to go it alone, and while doing so, he unleashed his one-time use cursed technique, Mythical Beast Amber, which was so powerful it allowed him to transcend and surpass the human realm. He would have ended Sukuna after all the damage received from the prior fight. Unfortunately though, the King of Curses just so happened to have the ability to transform into his true form, and after that was achieved, Kashimo was swiftly dealt with. He was used to further our understanding of who Sukuna is, and then that was it. So it's like I said at the beginning of the video, when you stand Kashimo alongside the pinnacle of Jujutsu Kaisen and compare him with all the others, he comes up very short. He's 1 and 2 in the official charts, and also after his fight with Hikari, that man disappeared for I don't even know how long. Then he comes back and gives side commentary for Gojo's fight, and once Gojo gets packed up, Kashimo dives headfirst into a dismantle. And that's the end of the character. He had so much promise, but ultimately, he really failed to do much aside from look cool. He's still one of my favorite characters though, I can't lie. That design and those powers do a lot. He's a lightning user, he just looks cool. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this one. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, let me know by leaving a like, commenting, and subscribing with notifications on. And speaking of commenting, you obviously all can comment whatever you want, but I also want to know specifically 2 things. Do you guys still like Kashimo as a character? And do you have a character that you like in JJK that you feel didn't really get the shine and respect that you thought that they deserved? Similar to me with Kashimo. Type it out, I'm gonna read them, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody!